I'd like to start by thanking your committee chair, Sean McGovern, for inviting me to, or being influential in inviting me to speak this morning, and also obviously to Executive Sarah for doing that. I am also, and probably more importantly, because I do not want to steal Deepak's thunder, they're speaking later, Paula Peters will be addressing you, she's a real Deepak organiser. I'm also the Equalities Officer in the Kent branch of Unite Community, and I want to talk a bit about the importance of evolving trade unionism in our struggle in a minute. But let's get down to business, okay? I live in Whitstable, and just before anybody asks me, no, the earth did not move from there at 2:53 this morning, nor did I notice a seismic shift to the left. However, that may change today, right? So let's get down to business now. Good morning, campers. Good morning. Sorry, good morning, comrades. I don't know, it's ridiculous. I'll start by asking you a question, right? Are you feeling aspirational? I really hope so, because if you're not, then we're going to lose this fight. Okay, let's think a bit about this dreadful drift towards aspirational. Because everybody's at it, right? Tory party are at it, most of the Labour Party leadership contenders are at it, and there are some people who are probably at it that don't admit it. Right? But what does it mean? I'll tell you what it means for them. It means that as long as you are wanting to crawl up the tree of becoming a fully fledged member of the share-owning, house-owning democracy, you're okay. If you simply want to get up in the morning, stay alive and have a dignified existence, you don't count, you don't matter. But for us here in this room, you do, we do. And we have to shift the debate about aspiration to where we are, not where they are. Okay? And that's very important in terms of what we have to say today in your motions to the trade union leadership of this country, and what they in turn have to say to what we will call the hopefully effective opposition. Now, why is aspiration important? It's important because it is what keeps us all going. It's what enables us to get up in the morning and do the things that we need to do, most of which are about survival and some of which are about contributing to a better society. Now, the better the resources that we have, the more we can contribute to the latter. The more we can actually use our energy to improve the world in which we live. And not just our world, not just the world of disabled people, but the world in general. The reason I say all that is because I am sick and fed up with the Tory narrative. I know you all are too, and I know I'm speaking to the converted. But the message is an important message, because the message that we have to send is that we are here, and we are not going away, and most importantly of all, our issues, which might be seen as small group, specific group issues, are actually floating to the top of the mainstream. And that's where they need to be, and that's where we need to keep them. So our contribution to the political debate over the next 5 years, the creation of effective resistance and opposition, is going to be to remind the political world that damage to us is damage to all. There was a marvellous piece, and it really relates to what what Peter asked me to address this morning was the role of the social model of disability in our fight back, but there was an absolutely marvellous piece in the Guardian comment is free by somebody who I don't know, called Rosa Davies, D-A-V-I-E-S, and the headline was, "This Tory victory is going to make me more disabled." Now, if you haven't read that piece, I suggest that you Google Rosa Davies, The Guardian, and find it, because it's an absolutely brilliant exposition of the role of the social model in politics. But it doesn't say that anywhere, which is what's wonderful about it. Because the last thing you need at 10 o'clock in the morning is somebody prattling on about the social model in some academic language. It is not an academic concept. It's a highly practical way of us making sure that we look at issues and problems from the point of view of identifying solutions. The difficulty we have is that we have to do that by blaming society, but only in appropriate ways. People who want to do something don't tend to respond very well to being told that it's all their fault. That's not actually a very good way of persuading people that you want them to do something. So that's why I've been doing some work in the world of international standards, and look out for some claims by me and others that we may have found a very significant way of adding to the effectiveness of the social model. And the key phrase that you should look for is 11 principles. But I won't go into that right now. What I will say is that we have got to continue to push the message that we've always pushed. And as I said, that message is, we're here, we're not going away, we may be small, and we may be beautifully ill-formed, but we are definitely the force for the future. And don't forget the key important social model mantra in all of this work, when we carry out our responsibilities to push the message of disabled people's issues through the labour movement, through the trade union movement, forcing our issues to the top of their agenda. Don't forget, there should be nothing about us without us. Thank you very much.